Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Covington City Council meeting for Tuesday, September 23rd. In compliance with state law, City Council special and regular meetings are held in a hybrid format with in-person, telephonic, and virtual options for public viewing and participation. With that, we'll call this meeting to order. And Krista, if you could please call the roll.
Councilmember Soltis.
I'm here.
Councilmember Porter.
Here.
Councilmember Hartsock.
Here.
Councilmember Harjehausen.
Present.
Councilmember Samomo.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith.
Here.
And Mayor Wagner.
Here.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you, Krista. If everybody could please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, it's me.
Thank you. Next is approval of agenda. Regan, do we have any changes tonight?
No changes, Mayor.
Thank you. With that, we'll look for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All those in favor state aye. Aye. Any opposed? The agenda has been approved. Next is reports of commissions. First up is Economic Development Council. Josh, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Hello, council. See, we drew quite a crowd for the CEDIS report today.
Yeah.
So, we had a busy summer at CEDIS. We only had one meeting. It's kind of hard to get people together. A lot of award ceremonies and parades to attend, so made it difficult. So we actually have a meeting coming up Thursday, but there was one meeting that occurred last month that I'll update you on. The first item that was discussed at great length, particularly around how CEDIS can support this effort, was Restaurant Week, which is, I believe, the second or third. I'm not sure. I know it's not the first. It's going to be November 10th through the 26th. And what I want to say about that is this is a really good example of, I've had a few conversations in the community. First of all, it's going to be bigger this year than it was before. You always like to see that. But also, this is the kind of event that really falls into the category that we talked about in CEDIS of economic gardening, where not only does it support the current businesses that are in Covington, but it sets an example of how Covington supports businesses in the way of seeking other businesses to jump in and come to Covington and that type of thing. And I think all of us at one point or another have talked about maybe liking to see some higher end restaurants come to Covington, and that this is just that kind of event that doesn't just support what's here now, but perhaps supports growth in the future. So we're pretty excited about that. Another good portion of the meeting was really reviewing the lease that I think will be discussed tonight, and then the marketing plan around the Karma Statue project. Of course, building on the momentum of Karma in general, and all the reasons why we decided to go down the road of really creating Karma as an ambassador to our city and whatnot. Before I say that, though, I want to go back to Restaurant Week. I don't know if you've seen the logo for Restaurant Week, but if you haven't yet, you should really check it out. It's cool. I think Carla designed it. It really incorporates the city logo. And instead of upward arrows, it's got a fork, knife, and a spoon in the circles. Pretty darn cool. So I'm pretty excited about that. But anyway, back to Karma, really deciding how we're going to go out and sell this and get the business community on board and excited about it and whatnot. So we'll continue talking about that on Thursday. And then the last item I mentioned, I think in my last update, we're really reviewing the concepts around and the principles around what's called blue zone types of regions, places where people tend to live longer, healthier lives, and what do these places have in common, and how can Covington and certainly the things we do around the business community contribute to that. So that's another set of things that we're working on, and that's my update.
Great. Thank you, Josh. Does council have any questions? We're looking forward to discussing the Karma Collective on our agenda tonight. So thank you.
Cool.
Thank you for all your hard work on that.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Youth Council, do we have a report from Youth Council tonight? Arts Commission, we had a joint session with them earlier, so there's no further update. Equity, Cultural, and Social Justice Commission, do we have an update tonight from them. All right, let's move into human services. Do we have an update? Welcome. Thanks for being here tonight.
Hello, thank you. Anne Magner, representing Human Services Commission. So we've had a busy month or 6 weeks or so. So we conducted a site visit in August with the storehouse where we learned about some of their new operations, current funding challenges, which I'm sure you're all aware of, and just generally client needs and types of resources that they're looking for. And then on top of that, we've been doing a ton of outreach education. You've probably seen us boothing at several of the events like Kids Fest, for example. And then also recently we were just at the Covington Library. That actually came pretty much from a tour we did with the Covington Library a couple of months ago. So we're probably going to do that again in the future, just FYI. We tend to get a lot of great feedback, particularly around senior services. Again, I sound like a broken record because I bring this one up quite a lot, but that's something that's very important to our community. A community center is another item that everyone is talking about right now. And a big one that honestly I've heard tons about is public transportation. There's a lot of people moving into the Covington area and a lot of people want to be able to get in and out of Covington. So that's another one just generally people do share with us as well. So I just want to pass that along. And then also we are planning a Halloween themed outreach event at the Covington Place. That's going to be on 10/29, and that's primarily going to be senior focused activities, obviously. But we do want to make sure that our senior folks here in Covington feel heard. And so that is something that the Human Services Commission are going to move forward and participate in. Outside of that, just been a busy time, as I mentioned, with outreach and no major other updates other than that.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Sean?
Thank you. Appreciate the update. And just curious at the library, how many contacts do you have? And do you keep track of those to see how many people we're communicating with?
In terms of folks that
Just had touch base with to say, they said I didn't know about these services, and just be interesting to see if we can, over time, see that our contacts are going up.
Yeah, actually, the amount of contacts we have are like unique. So we don't have the same people at every event, for example, because the types of events we do are obviously all very different. Like what we did at Kids Fest is going to be very different than what we did at the library. I don't have exact numbers to tell you the truth. We do a raffle at every one of our events. So maybe we could pull all the tickets together and then we could figure out what the unique numbers are. But if the question is around like, are these unique folks, then yes, they are unique. And generally the trends of folks tend to that give feedback are more around the senior base, I would say. And then I've definitely seen like an uptick in folks that are genuinely new to the city that are saying, hey, this is a great, vibrant place, but we do want to be able to do like community events and we do want to be able to get in and out without having to use our cars so much. So that's generally the trends I've seen. It's either senior or just new folks that are coming into the city.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Joe?
I like how you mentioned public transportation. I key on that every time anyone talks about it. Debbie and I both serve on transportation boards for the region. And if you have any questions or want to come and make public comment to tell King County Metro that we want/need more services here, please get in contact with us and we'll give you meeting times and dates and all that fun stuff for you.
Okay, that would be wonderful. And I will say I do try to tell folks come here too.
Yeah.
So I have said, we do have a monthly city hall meeting where you can come and share this feedback. So I hope you don't mind that I come and share the feedback on behalf of the people, but I feel like it's my job to do so and I don't want people to feel ignored. So if you're open to that, I would love to get your contact information and be able to share that as well. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Thank you.
Yeah.
Very much for all that you do. And I know that each of our commissions do hard work, but human services and all the outreach you're doing. Thank you. I know it's a lot of hard work, so appreciate
no
that.
problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Parks and Recreation, Laura, welcome.
Good evening. I'm reporting. Can you hear me? I feel like I'm talking to myself. Okay. I'm reporting on August and September's meeting. In August, we got the same update for the Jenkins Creek Trail that you guys also got. So I'm not going to go over that again. We also got our update from Jacqueline with recreation and cultural arts. It's a lot of the same great stuff. So she had a PowerPoint for us. There were 25 slides for individual events that Covington does. That's not covering all of them. Like just the expansion that I've seen and what the city has been able to do with the very limited resource the city has in recreation and sports has really been absolutely incredible in the past 5 years. The events continue to be popular, highlighting particularly expanding into the town center lawn, which I know you guys are all aware of. Parks has been trying to activate that for a while. Sports are about as full as they can be. We continue to be limited by our capacity, our available playing spaces. So no real new information there, but it's good that everything is still full. Everything is still popular. Like the commissioner before me said, we got a lot of people moving to the city and they want to have things to do for themselves, for their children. And so our rec classes and our sports are full. In our September meeting, we heard from Jesse with the maintenance division update. And so a couple of things that we pulled off from him. Now with 4 maintenance workers dedicated to parks, they're able to have a rising level of service, which I know is something that you guys have talked about as the council. And he named a couple of ways where that extra maintenance worker is really paying off. One of the ways is they're able to pressure wash the park shelters more frequently, which may sound like a little thing, but when you pay money to rent a shelter and you go there and it's covered in like sticky jello from the people before you, that's frustrating. And so that 4th worker has enabled them to like help and take care of that. That 4th maintenance worker has also freed Nate up as a lead to spend a little bit more time planning and organizing so that they can be more efficient in their work and how they divide things up. So just a couple of small wins out of many with that extra maintenance worker. He showed us the pictures of before and after from the field closure at CCP. A field closure is always a bummer because you never want to restrict people from it. But when you look at the grass before and the grass after pictures, it's absolutely incredible and shows just how valuable that field closure is. He mentioned a couple challenges, which are in some ways good things. There's so many people in our parks, maintenance has to kind of work around them, and that can be a little awkward sometimes. Another challenge that I'm sure you guys are kind of aware of is some of the vandalism that's happened. So he showed us pictures of the toilet paper bombing, for lack of a better term, that happened in the CCP restrooms. And I don't know if you guys have seen it. That's an incredible work. I don't know what they did, but that was pretty amazing, and how they got toilet paper literally everywhere. So there was a conversation about that, and that we had in the commission with Jesse about kind of what can be done and the frequency. And that leads into our next thing that we're going to do is our joint meeting with you guys next month. And so some of the things that Jesse talked about, we're talking about in our commission, and we'll probably bring a few of those forward to you with kind of ideas and such. So that sums those 2 meetings up. Any questions?
Do you have any questions for Laura? Thank you very much. Thank you, Laura.
You're welcome.
Next is Planning Commission. Do we have someone here for planning? Daman, welcome.
Hello, council, and hello, public members here. My name is Daman Katra, and I'm representing Planning Commission tonight. I will keep it short as we have the planning and council meeting upcoming next month. So for this one that we had last week, the update is like it was election time, and the new chair is myself, Daman Katra, and the vice chair is Steve Bosson. And in this meeting, we had the public hearing for critical areas ordinance that the commission has been working on since January. We will be sharing the critical areas ordinance updates to the council in our October 14th joint planning commission session. The staff provided the updates on the 2025 legislative session and work plan task that we will be working throughout 2026 year. Any questions?
Does anybody have any questions for Dom? Just want to say congratulations on being elected as chair of Planning Commission.
Yeah.
Thank you for all you do for the community, and thank you to the entire planning commission for everything that they do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming
Have a
tonight.
good night.
You too. That concludes all of our reports of commissions. Next, we'll move into public communication, and we have a community care program update. Darren, welcome.
Thank you. All right, my name is Darren Patterson. I'm the city's community care specialist, and I'll be providing you with an annual update that will serve as a qualitative review of the community care program as opposed to the more quantitative reviews, which I've done in the past. But first, I'd like to get us started with an introduction of somebody whom we at the community care program are very proud of, and that is community care program graduate J.H. Heron, who will be telling us about his experience within our program. Okay.
Good evening, council members. My name is Jay Charon. I want to thank you guys for giving me a chance to share my story. A little over a year ago, my life looked very different. After more than 10 years of struggling with addiction, I'd just been kicked out of an Oxford house because of a relapse. I was living out of my car in the Covington Walmart parking lot when Darren and Carrie knocked on my window and asked if they could help me get clean. What stood out most to me that night was they genuinely cared about my well-being. That moment changed my life. They helped me get into detox and treatment. They kept checking on me when I was in there. Because of what you, City of Covington, sponsor, I had a safe place to go when I completed treatment. It was AHA housing. That housing and support system gave me the stability and time I needed to rebuild my life. Today, I'm proud to say that I manage that same sober living house. I also hold a job that I genuinely enjoy as the store manager at Cooper's Auto Repair. In addition, I give back by volunteering weekly on the Alcoholics Anonymous text line, answering phones for Seattle AA Intergroup, visiting treatment centers to share my story and encourage others. And on October 12th, I'll be celebrating 1 full year of sobriety.
Wow.
None of this would have been possible. None of this would have been possible without the program that you support. Your sponsorship didn't just give me a second chance, it gave me a future. And I deeply appreciate the difference your investment makes in the lives of people like me. And I would happily answer any question. Happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
Well, I just want to say congratulations.
Mhm.
That took a lot for you, and you deserve a standing ovation.
Yeah.
And I don't know, does council have any questions for this young man? Sean.
And don't have, you can think about it, if you want, but anything we can do better, anything we can improve on, I know, but we're always looking to, it's great hearing your story. How do we expand this program?
I think one of the issues that a lot of struggling addicts have as they come out is they've either been in this lifestyle so long or they've never known anything different that they don't have somebody there, some mentor in a sense, to show them how to live life again, clean and sober. And this program, I think it does a lot, but I think there's still more that could be done as far as helping them further through the program. It's getting out there and just finding people that are willing to get into treatment is the first step. And then from there, it's, having somebody check up on me when I was in treatment. I mean, I have family that I called while I was in there, but that sense of like somebody else on the outside cared.
Right.
I mean, it stuck and it helped.
That's good.
So
Great.
Anybody else? Well, thank you for sharing your story. Congratulations on 1 year, almost 1 year. And so like a year ago, that's the first day of your new life. And Darren, thank you for reaching out and helping Jake get to where you need to be.
Yeah.
So good luck and congratulations. It was great to hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jage. As Jage has displayed, our program is based on what I'm referring to as the graduated rehousing principle. To help illustrate this model, I'm using a two-sided step block, the same kind that you see used by physical therapists for strength training. The key takeaway here in this model, I don't know if you guys can see in your head, but the key takeaway here is that recovery is a gradual, structured process with each step building upon the last. There's no shortcuts, and each stage represents progress towards stability and independence. The first step being community contact. This is the process where it begins with outreach, either from a community-based referral or during one of our outreach sweeps. This is the first point of engagement. The second step, stabilization, is if the care seeker is willing to participate. Our immediate focus then becomes stabilization through direct aid or some other form of support. The third step is case management. From here, individuals are connected to case management services through the Recovery Navigator program for ongoing assistance. The fourth step is detox. When necessary, they move into detox or intensive intervention programs. And from here, the step 5 is supportive housing. Upon completion of detox or IIP, supportive housing options are offered to provide a stable living environment for them to transition into. Step 6, recovery skill building. While enrolled in supportive housing, the focus shifts to building life and recovery skills. And finally, step 7, community reintegration, where the goal becomes reintegration, where individuals return to the community now with stability, independence, and resilience. And so this is our community care team and the people who bring the graduated rehousing model to life. First, we came with Julie.
I'm emotional tonight. Okay, so aside from being very, very proud of my team, I also am the human services supervisor and well-being coordinator. And basically, I supervise all the human services operations here at the city. And part of that is the community care program. But really, Darren is the one that's out there managing, and we have a great team, but he's the one that's carrying the load administratively, analytically, and in the field. So.
In my role, I serve as a community care specialist on this chain here. Recently, as the program has evolved, I've begun to transition from doing more outreach, specifically myself, into a more administrative role where I serve as a field supervisor to the community care field team and manage our program's direct aid funds, the contracts with RMP, AHA, and the Gelada system that documents and tracks analytics based on our work. As this has occurred, outreach coordinator Costin has begun to take the lead on the outreach aspect. I will let Carrie expand on this.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carrie Costin, and I serve as the Community Care Outreach Coordinator within the City of Covington's Community Care Program. In this role, I work in close partnership with Recovery Navigator Program peer specialists to conduct weekly outreach sweeps throughout our community. As outreach coordinator, my primary responsibility is to make the initial connections with individuals in need, often meeting people in challenging circumstances. I conduct field assessments, provide direct aid when appropriate, and help stabilize individuals in crisis. Once immediate needs are addressed, I refer care seekers to the Recovery Navigator program for follow-up case management and ongoing support. Throughout this work, our team is able to connect people with services more quickly, reduce barriers to care, and improve outcomes for both individuals and the Covington community as a whole. Thanks. I'd like to introduce Ryan with the Recovery Navigator program.
Hello, Council. How are you? Thanks for having me. My name is Ryan Paciano, and I'm with the Recovery Navigator program, and I've been with them since early 2023. For those unfamiliar, the Recovery Navigator program is a statewide initiative supporting individuals struggling with addiction and related challenges. Our services are activated when law enforcement makes a referral to a scene when they recognize someone could benefit from our support. From there, we step in as a continuing resource that stays with the individual for as long as we are needed. We are an extension of public safety efforts, making sure that when the immediate crisis is over, the follow-up support is still there. When I started, we partnered with 11 police departments, including Covington PD, who saw the value in our program. Today, we work with nearly 50 police, fire, and court partners across the region, a sign of how much first responders rely on us for continued care beyond the crisis. I'm especially proud of the partnership between Recovery Navigator program and Covington's
Community Care Program. This collaboration represents a shared commitment to meeting people where they are and ensuring they don't fall through the cracks. By combining Covington's local insight and community presence with Recovery Navigator Program's ongoing recovery support, we've created a powerful, responsive system of teamwork and care. Thanks again for your time, and I look forward to serving the community of Covington. Thank you.
Finally, that transitions to Steve.
Good evening, Council. My name is Stephen Kidd, and I work as a peer and a case manager for AHA Supportive Housing, which encompasses substance abuse and mental health support. At AHA, we provide a safe and structured environment for individuals looking to rebuild their life guided through our core principles, compassion, and accountability. As a case manager for AHA, I work directly with the recovery navigators along with the community care team. Once they have pre-qualified a potential client, they contact me for the next step, at which point I will perform a phone or an in-person assessment to make sure that that client is a good fit for our program. And during their stay, I continue to keep in contact with the client to assure forward progression and long-term success here at AHA. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions?
Not too bad.
Yes.
How long can someone utilize services with AHA?
So our program currently funds up to three months. And then we do a case-by-case basis for extension, but the goal is to get folks stabilized and get some recovery skills built up, some resiliency skills, and then we kind of come together as a team and make a determination what the next best course is. But sometimes we make that 3 months, sometimes we don't.
Okay.
Anybody else? Beth?
So out of how many people that are referred, are you actually able to vet and take in? And out of that, then how many complete the program, at least initially?
So out of all the people that they've referred, there's only been, I would say pretty much like 90% qualify for our program.
Great.
And then out of that, people that need continuing care, it just depends on the person. If they're able to find work and whatnot.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, Debbie.
Thank you very much, Steve, for being here. Does your group still provide the 24/7 hotline or telephone support as we get referrals? Was that?
Yeah, that's not part of my program.
Okay, is that
That's
RNP?
outside
So the program, King County always wanted it to be 24 hours. And I think as late as we ever got it was midnight. When the funding changed in recently this year, we're open from 8:30 a.m. till 7 p.m. And if an officer makes a call at 7 p.m., we'll stay late and make sure that's resolved. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you. Is that everything, Darren? Oh,
Great.
well,
Yeah.
just want to say, thank you for everyone
Yeah.
working together as a team, help make a difference in Covington. Obviously it works. And Jade, congratulations again on getting through that and moving on. So Darren, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, made a big difference since when you started.
Yeah.
It's been a heavy lift, but
Yeah,
it's coming together.
great. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Next, we have, if council could join me in front of the dais, we have some proclamations to hand out. We have been told people can't hear me. We have 4 proclamations we're going to hand out. We'll start with Kristen. Yep, come on up.
Hey, I know, just leave the comments.
Yeah, you can bring it with you. You can bring it with you. Mike. Yep. So our first proclamation that we have tonight, and Christine, you're with Dawn.
Yes.
So we greatly appreciate you being here tonight. And first off, Dawn is an awesome organization that helps with domestic violence, or helps people get out of domestic violence, helps them get to a safe place, and helps those individuals that are facing situations where they don't feel they can get out of it. And you provide that helping hand, help people get to the next step, helping women and their families get a sense of normalcy, which may not happen immediately, but it helps them get to that step. So we greatly appreciate everything that your organization does.
Thank you.
So we have a proclamation that we'd like to read. So whereas in October 1989, the first Domestic Violence Awareness Month commemorative legislation was passed by Congress, providing key leadership in the effort to reduce domestic violence. And whereas domestic violence affects many in our communities, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have experienced physical violence by a partner. And one in 3 teens has experienced some form of abuse in relationship. These numbers are only what's reported. So could be, and there is, higher numbers because people are afraid to say something. As many as 10 million children will witness domestic violence each year. And whereas with continued public awareness programs, increased education on healthy relationships, and more people taking action against domestic violence, we will break the cycle of abuse and provide skills to empower victims and children. Now, therefore, we, the City Council of the City of Covington, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in the City of Covington, and strongly urge all citizens to take action by displaying 1 or more purple lights in their yard, window, residence, or place of employment to honor the victims and to give hope to those still living with abuse, and by extending support, resources, and awareness to this important cause. And this Saturday is Purple Light Night that was started here in Covington by Victoria Throng. We'll be lighting the tree Saturday night to bring awareness. And we'd like to present this proclamation to you. And if you would like to say anything.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you and good evening, council members and community members. I'm Christine Rose, and I'm representing Dawn Domestic Abuse Women's Network. First, thank you to the City of Covington for recognizing Domestic Violence Awareness Month and for taking time to acknowledge that this issue impacts so many families in Covington and across our region. Mayor, we're happy to see that you are no longer wearing a cast and you're in the process of healing. And when we talk about recovery and resilience, sometimes a little humor reminds us that healing takes both time and support. Survivors of domestic violence know that truth all too well. The road back to safety and security and stability isn't easy. It doesn't happen alone. And that's why your proclamation and more importantly, your continued support and funding for Dawn's programs, including our confidential emergency shelter that takes people who have the highest risk of lethality in the county, is really critical and vital. Each night, women, children, families find refuge in our shelter because of your city's commitment. And behind every statistic is a person who needed a safe bed, even a dog that needs a safe bed because the shelter takes pets, a listening ear, the chance to rebuild their lives free from violence. I also want to acknowledge the incredible leadership Covington has shown through Purple Light Nights, which really began right here almost 20 years ago and continues to shine strong today the city sparked a movement actually that spread across state, country, Canada now, and it's going global, reminding us all to stand with survivors and to honor those we've lost. We'll be joining together for a kickoff in your sister city Kent over there on September 25th and right here in Covington on the 27th. Because when the city glows purple, it sends a message of hope and solidarity. So on behalf of Dawn and the countless survivors who rely on our services, thank you for your partnership, your vision, and for making Covington a community where safety, dignity, and hope are priorities. Thank you very much.
Thank you for all you do.
Get a picture.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Our next proclamation is, I have a proclamation for National Public Lands Day. We don't have anybody here to accept it tonight, but we will send this off. Whereas nearly 1/3 of Washington state is public land, which is integral to our economy, environment, and quality of life. And whereas federal stewardship of public lands ensures that resources are managed for the benefit of all Americans, as public lands provide wildlife habitat, grazing lands, watershed protection, wildfire management, opportunities for outdoor recreation, and more. And whereas federal agencies that address the many complex challenges of public lands are essential to managing these shared resources for future generations. And as federal involvement is crucial for their long-term health and sustainability, therefore the costs associated with managing these lands are a national responsibility. And whereas Washington residents deeply value these public lands for their recreational, economic, cultural, aesthetic, and spiritual significance, and efforts to transfer or sell off public lands are inconsistent with the values and interests of our residents. Now, therefore, we, the City Council of the City of Covington, do hereby proclaim September 27th, 2025 as National Public Lands Day in the City of Covington, and strongly urge concerned residents to advocate for federal land management agencies to continue collaborative efforts with local communities, stakeholders, and other governmental entities to ensure effective and responsible management of public lands. And with this, we'll make sure and get this sent off, and to September 27th is National Public Lands Day. So thank you. Next, I'd like to have Josh Kelch join us. Josh is with the Puget Sound Regional Fire Authority, who helps take care of Covington. We have a proclamation here for Fire Prevention Week. Whereas fire remains a serious public safety concern for both locally and nationally, and the presence of lithium-ion batteries in many household devices introduces unique fire risks. And whereas most of the electronics used in homes today, such as smartphones, tablets, laptops, power tools, toys, and more, are powered by lithium-ion batteries, which, if misused, damaged, or improperly charged, can overheat, start a fire, or explode. And, well, it's here. Whereas residents should follow 3 key calls to action: buy only products listed to meet national safety standards, charge batteries safely, recycle them responsibly, because you don't throw them in a trash can, because they can light up. To prevent battery-related fires. And whereas first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of fires through prevention, safety education, and community outreach. And the 2025 Fire Prevention Week theme, Charge into Fire Safety Lithium-ion batteries in your home, serves to remind us of the importance of using, charging, and recycling lithium-ion batteries safely to reduce the risk of fires in homes and communities. Now, therefore, we, the City Council of the City of Covington, do hereby proclaim October 5th through the 11th of 2025 as Fire Prevention Week in the City of Covington, and we urge all citizens to support the public safety efforts of the Puget Sound Regional Fire Authority, provider of fire and emergency medical services in Covington. We'd like to present this proclamation to you on behalf of Covington, the Puget Sound Fire Regional Authority. Thank you for all that you and your team do. It goes unnoticed, but it's greatly appreciated. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Absolutely. Mostly thank you for allowing me to be here tonight. I think we all know that fire prevention, the division, the Bureau is not often the most appreciated, but they're perhaps the most effective branch of the fire department. They're shoulder to shoulder with our citizens in Covington every day. They're doing business inspections, permits, and they're in those buildings that you and I shop in or eat in to check their fire alarm systems, to check their sprinkler systems, to make sure that you are safe when you're inside those buildings. Yet there's not a lot of people that run out to greet the fire inspector when he shows up at the job site.
I do.
There's not a lot of children running along the sidewalk waving to the fire prevention officer as he goes by. So it's incumbent upon us, I think, to make proclamations like this, to recognize the work they do. Safer. Thank you very much for doing this.
You bet. Thank you.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. We get them red trucks.
Yeah. What's it called? Red trucks as foams. Ever really show up? Yeah. Thank you. Next, I'd like to ask Ben Parrish to join us up here. Next, we have a proclamation for stormwater awareness.
Woo!
Yeah. Remember when you first started?
19 years ago, do you believe
Yeah,
that?
and I remember Jim Scott's comments up here. So yeah, with NPDES. So whereas stormwater is precipitation that falls on hard surfaces and does not soak into the ground, this runoff becomes polluted with tire particles, vehicle fluids, fertilizers, pesticides, bacteria, sediments, litter, pet waste, and more as it runs along roads, sidewalks, parking lots, roofs, and lawns. And whereas polluted stormwater flows into the stormwater system and may be released untreated into waterways such as lakes, rivers, streams, and oceans. And whereas there are many environmentally friendly ways to manage stormwater, mitigate pollution, and improve water quality, such as growing native plants that filter water, building stormwater ponds, rain gardens, bioswales, and following best practices to support pollution, prevention, and stormwater treatment. And whereas Washington State is a leader in promoting pollution prevention and mitigation for our stormwater discharges, and Stormwater Awareness Week is an opportunity for local government, industry, and environmental groups to recognize the potential for stormwater pollution prevention in our lakes, rivers, streams, and oceans. Now, therefore, we, the City Council of the City of Covington, do hereby proclaim October 5th through the 12th of 2025 as Stormwater Awareness Week in the City of Covington, and we strongly urge all residents to be aware of the challenge polluted that runoff poses to our environment and take steps to encourage prevention and to improve water quality. And Ben, I'd like to present this proclamation, and Ben is with our Public Works Department, and he makes sure that our stormwater tries to be as clean and safe as possible.
Safe as possible.
That's right.
Yep.
Is there anything you'd like to say, sir?
I appreciate you guys doing this. We're trying to start this proclamation process and Stormwater Awareness Week statewide. So I'm glad we get to participate this year. And I would like everyone that's a Covington resident to celebrate on the first week of October by going to adoptadrain.org and adopt the nearest catch basin to your house. And that will help us try to achieve some of our water quality goals. I'm sure you've already all adopted drains by your houses, but yes. But adopt another one. Yeah. It's okay.
I'm stumped by.
The naming is hard.
I
It gets a
also
lot
have a clever name.
That's
So
right.
I'm stumped.
There is good. So,
All right.
anyways, thank you. Appreciate it.
Ben, thank you for all that you do.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Did ask Ben to wear different shoes?
Nah, it's all right.
1, 2, 3. Pretty good.
I'm getting old.
Thank
I gotta
you.
wear my Crocs.
All right. Yep, that's it. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, yeah. That's what you built on. I just feel like. No, it's just, but it shows up. It shows up on the website.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Next is our first of two public comment periods. Speakers will state their name, organization, and whether they are a Covington resident. Comments are directed to City Council, not the audience or staff. Comments are to be related to city business. Comments are not intended for conversation or debate and are limited to 4 minutes per speaker. For attendees participating by Zoom, click the raise hand button. For attendees participating by phone, please dial *9 to raise your hand. Once the city grants permission to speak, press unmute in Zoom or dial *6 to unmute by phone. Please note, campaigning for any ballot measure or candidate at City Hall or during council meetings, including public comments, is prohibited by state law, RCW 42.17a.555. And Prem, you are first on the list. Welcome. Thanks for being here tonight. It's great to see you, sir. Is that going to work, or we need to move the microphone for you?
I think
Good.
I think it'll catch you up.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's great.
thank you so much, Council. Thank you so much for having me. In front of you, you might have seen positive a week without diving. You might be wondering what is a week without diving. In city like Covington, it seems like difficult to not be anybody without a car. And 1 in 3 Americans do not dive. Either they have disability or either for economy, social, environment reasons. Those people lack participation in our civil society because our civil society needs ability to move on. Our transportation is not designed for people without a car. Without driving what movement is started in COVID in Washington. It is when COVID happened, there was a lot of metro bus route doesn't was not available because of pandemic, and the main pocket of this is to make people aware of transportation inequity that remain in our transportation system and advocate and make them ability to advocate. I know Councilman Sumama Accountable mobility regional transit in King County Regional Transit Commission. I I follow them every time. I know they have been also working to get both routes, but like we need to have a system where people can feel like they can move without being killed or not having time to work or not having desire to go because they don't have any transportation system. And in time when our climate change is getting rapid and we have a rapid need to move to fossil fuel, one of the best thing city can do is to make city more walkable. That will do two things: get more money into city because little people who are walking get more money into city than people into car, and it's good for everyone. And as you know, the week without diving is September 29, October 5. Everyone know we can do it, but even if you can do it one time or post it in Facebook, Instagram, or any platform, it's more than enough. This is movement between packages. We are not dictating you to not to get into car or anything. We are just saying, maybe we keep this some thought. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here and bringing this. And I agree. We do need to make it more walkable. And I do love this idea of a week without driving. So thank you for bringing this to us, Prem. Really appreciate it. And it's so great to see you. It's been a while.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Have a great evening.
You too.
Is there anybody else wishing to address council this evening? Is there anybody online wishing to address council this evening? Seeing nobody approach the podium or raise their hand, we'll close this public comment period, and there'll be a second opportunity towards the end of our meeting. Next up is approval of the consent agenda consisting of items C1 through C6. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The consent agenda has been approved. Next is new business item number 1. Consider a resolution adopting a city-sponsored Karma Collective Initiative, or a new name, I guess, featuring business and organization-sponsored Karma statues. Regan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As council is well aware of this program, but this is something that we're pretty excited about. CEDAS started talking about this a couple years ago. Then we met with the Arts Commission last year and have been making this happen. So excited to get it to this point for council. These statues will be about 5 feet tall and will represent our Covington mascot. And the intent is to support our community identity, to bring art to the community in places that it currently is not, and to provide a creative way for businesses to get engaged in the community. So the program, as you will see in the resolution, is planned for a 5-year window. At the end of that program, the council can decide to extend the program for another cycle, repurpose or relocate the statues, auction them as part of a public fundraiser, or retire the statues depending on the condition and public interest in the program at that point. So we've determined that the Parks and Rec Department will oversee the administration of this program. And it's important to remember, one of the reasons we're not selling the statues and instead leasing them is so the city can retain the rights to approve, request changes, and deny any kind of issues that may be with them. The goals of the initiative are to add vibrancy and public art in different places, like I'd mentioned, to reinforce Covington's identity using our Karma mascot, support public-private partnerships with our businesses, and ensure the statues are safe, welcoming, and accessible to all. Businesses, the organizations that can participate are businesses, nonprofit, places of worship, schools, or similar organizations within Covington. We really tried to make this have an all-inclusive. Even home occupation. I spoke with one home occupation business, and they're like, "How can I get involved?" I'm like, "I don't know yet, but let's figure it out." So we will have designated public spaces where a home business can sponsor a Karma statue, or they could work with another private commercial property to place it there. So all Karma statutes will remain city property, and we will lease them to the businesses. Several reasons for that. Two of the main ones are to ensure upkeep over the life of the program and to remove or relocate statues that are damaged, no longer maintained, or no longer align with the goals of the initiative. So statues can be placed in 3 different types of locations around the community. The first is in all of our commercially zoned properties, in community serving sites like places of worship, nonprofit places, things like that. And then, of course, city-owned designated spots that we'll have. I think the Arts Commission mentioned one. We're looking at putting it on the pedestal at Jenkins Creek Park. So the resolution specifically clarifies that Karma statues are part of a city-sponsored public art initiative and does not fall within the sign code. So that's an important distinguishing factor that we wanted to make sure was included in this. However, promotional content such as pricing, calls to action, or marketing slogans won't be allowed on the Karma. But a business could say, paint it the color of their logo or something like that, and then have a small logo on it. But we don't want the logo to be the theme of the statue, and we'll be able to use all that. And the Arts Commission will be helping to do that as well. So fiscal impact, the program is designed so that the lease cost will offset any cost to the city as far as the purchase of the statue and the installation. The plan is to use the art fund to upfront purchase several of the statues. And then as we lease those, we'll backfill what we used out of the art fund. So at this point, happy to answer any questions council may have on this resolution.
Okay. Joe.
Thank you, Regan. I'm very much looking forward to these. I can't wait to see them popping up all over the place and getting pictures with them. My main question is we do have something in here if they get damaged. So say something happens, someone has a car accident and it runs over one of the Karma statues. Is the business that has leased it then liable for the fees to replace it, or is that covered under something else?
Yeah, that would be something that would not be the business responsibility. Selena, are you on here?
I'm here.
Any comments on Joe's question?
The first thing that comes top of mind, and I think Mark will validate this, that if it's something, because we own them, they'll be ours. So that's going to be an insurance outcome likely. Like if a car hit it or something. I think a lot of these specific details are also what's going to be in the lease agreement, and more to come on that.
Yeah.
But I don't. Yeah.
Go ahead. Selena.
Oh, no. I was just going to say that to reinforce what Regan was saying earlier, these are those nuances why us owning them make it a lot easier, because then we can manage that through the lease agreement. And then if there's any insurance or anything like that that needs to be carried, we're in charge of that.
And just that distinguishing factor that this is the policy that allows us to do the program and ensures that this is public art, not a sign code issue. The lease agreement will cover all the technical details that hasn't been drafted yet.
I just want to make sure that if there's some weird damage that happens or vandalism, that we're not going to punish the business owner saying, hey, these sort of things happen in front of your business. You can't have this anymore. We're like, oh, hey, we understand these things happen. Let's figure out that. Okay. Thank you.
Good point.
Anybody else? Beth.
I really appreciate the thought that's going into this, like from the art perspective, but also the management perspective. And that there is a 5-year plan to reevaluate and just make sure that it's working and stop, start, or, continue whatever's going on to the benefit of the community. I would be interested at some point, if it works, to potentially allow either HOAs, or which might be considered a nonprofit, or if a group of neighbors wanted to get together and sponsor one somewhere, just because they want to make it rainbows or something, I don't know, anything bright. And I understand that we got to keep on brand. And so where would it go if it's not in a public right of way? I know there's lots of cul-de-sacs that have, it's considered probably right of way, even though it's not city owned per se. Anyway, I don't know. I'd be curious to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
'Cause it'd be fun to see them pop up, even in neighborhoods that would encourage people to take a different route or explore different parks that might not be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Beth. Sean?
Thank you, Regan. Appreciate it. Reading through here, I see who can participate. Talks about businesses, nonprofits, place of worship, yada, yada, yada. Just made me wonder, are there any businesses that we would not let purchase a karma? I mean, I can think of some businesses we may not want our.
That we wouldn't let purchase
Yeah,
one?
yeah, we don't have any of those in Covington, but
Yeah.
I could think of some that we probably wouldn't want their logo on our, it isn't in this, and I don't know how you do it, but how do other cities deal with that?
I don't think other cities do deal with that, and it's not something that we considered in this process. It's an opportunity to get public art through the community, and the design of the statue, we approve it.
So basically any business, regardless of who their clientele is, I'm trying to hint, just something to think about in our 5-year review if that becomes a problem.
I don't know, maybe Mark could jump in, but I don't know that we can say.
Yeah, that's what I was
These
wondering.
type of businesses
Yeah,
aren't
yeah.
allowed to
Yeah.
have public art.
Okay.
Because that's what this is. It's not a sign.
Right.
Right. So.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to the point as to why we're doing a lease and not a purchase, so that we can control the design.
Okay.
Jennifer?
Will instructions to the business on proper mounting be included? Because if we're owning it and we're saying, oh yeah, we might replace them if something happens to it. I mean, this has like senior prank written all over it, right?
Yeah,
Like
we're-
steal
yeah.
all the karmas and hide them
Yeah.
somewhere else on top of the high school. I don't know.
Yeah, so we're still working through all of that, but most likely what will happen is part of the lease cost will be installation. And so that's something, they'll be anchored, they'll be bolted in to, maybe it's the sidewalk in front of the business. Some businesses I've spoken to said, is there like a platform with wheels so we can wheel it inside and out? But yes, they will be anchored to something.
Yeah, and wheeling them in would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Before I go to you,
Yeah.
Sean, I have a question. It says like promotional content such as pricing, calls to action. Calls to action, would that be where political falls under?
It would fall under that.
Thank you. Sean?
And then I just wondered, in the leasing agreement, I think we talked about having QR codes on some of these that, could talk about Covington's history or whatever, if that would be something to think about in the leasing agreement too, is some type of an interpretive text that they could put in, was brought to you by Covington or whatever, but it'd be interesting to make it another level of engagement with these.
I did share that with the art
Statute.
commission. I don't know that it's gone very far,
That's
but that was provided to them.
Okay.
Yeah, something where the content changes.
Yeah.
The QR code is always the same, but maybe
Yeah.
the content changes based on whatever we want to put out.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just double checking on this. It says eligible participants, organizations in residential zones such as churches, nonprofits, public. Oh, never mind. I did not read a word. Sorry, my question's mute.
I added it as you were talking.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's a living document.
It is. It really is.
Anybody else? All right, council, before us is the potential to take action to approve the proposed resolution adopting a city-sponsored Karma Collective initiative featuring business and organization-sponsored karma statues as presented.
So
Sure.
Moved.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Joe, would you like to speak to your motion?
Yes, I think these are amazing ideas. I am looking forward to the idea of having a karma in many different colors that we, of course, approve of, and seeing how the different businesses and the residents use karma to promote our city. And I think it's a wonderful thing. I'm looking forward to seeing where these wind up. But I also think it's a great way just, Seattle's got their pigs, Chicago's got the cows, we've got the chameleon, and it's going to it's not to put us on the map, it's to really build a more happy community. And I think that's what it's going to do, but it's going to make us, people are going to come and say, well, how'd you get this idea for these, big statues of this weird looking chameleon? And it's going to be great. And I think it's going to be fun. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. And yes, Jennifer, I agree. I think there's going to be some senior pranks with them, but I think they're just going to get painted and we can take care of that simple. But I'm hopeful that that's not the case.
Thank you, Joe. Beth, would you like to speak to your second?
Yes, I remember, oh gosh, about 3 years ago or so, 4 years ago, when Bo moved into the city and was talking about this kind of a thing, even before she was on the art council. And so it's really great to see how it's progressed and, potentially coming to fruition. And I know we even talked about something like this at the workshop in 2018, where we had the community members coming together and figuring out what we could do to love the Cove and in that. So it's great to see this kind of a program progress, and looking forward to seeing how it plays out. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Is there anybody else wishing to speak for or against the motion? Yeah, Beth, Debbie.
Thank you. I'm expecting that we'll have some public backlash. We'll call it the karma haters. But I like that this is public art, and it's no different than if a resident finds some kind of opposition to us having a statue at CCP. But also as important as we're viewing this as something that's bringing the businesses and the community together. So that's where I believe the word cooperative came from. It's something that everybody can kind of join in and have a little fun with. So it's the only drawback that I could see happening, but I think we have a very good reason to explain. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Anybody else wishing to speak for or against the motion? Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the proposed resolution adopting a city-sponsored karma collective initiative featuring business and organization-sponsored karma statues as presented. All those in favor state aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. That concludes new business. So looking at future agenda items, we have our next meeting on October 14th. We have a joint meeting with our planning commission starting at 6 and then following into our council meeting with several new items. Does council have anything they'd like to see on a future council agenda? All right. Seeing none, then let's move into council staff comments. We'll start with Chief.
Hello, Council and Mayor. I have no comments for today.
Great, thank you. Ethan.
Hi, Mayor, Council, nothing from me tonight. Thank you.
I do have one quick question for you, Ethan.
Sure.
How many platforms for art do we have at Chickens Creek Park? Just the one out in front?
Yeah, just the one there and then just the two at CCP.
And did we put one in at Founders Park?
Not as part of phase one. There's opportunities to do that in a future phase if we wanted.
Great. Thank you, Ethan.
Yep.
Don.
Nothing tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Selena.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. Nothing from me tonight.
Thanks, Selena. Casey.
Nothing for me tonight either. Thank you.
Thanks, Casey. Mark.
There's no executive session tonight, and I have no additional report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Regan.
Nothing more, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Krista.
I just want to clarify that the October 14th study session will actually begin at 5:30 p.m. and that is reflected on your Outlook calendar invitation. It'll be updated on that draft agenda as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Krista. Christina.
Oh, hi there. Okay, I'd like to state that, I know Jennifer likes, fun slogans. And, I'm just saying that maybe we can say, don't leave it behind or something, you know, like no leaves in the drains.
That's cute.
I'm just saying, you know, we can get creative here.
That's very cute.
What a wonderful, in light of the arts, the wonderful meeting we just had with the Arts Commission. I'm, I used to be a very creative person, but I'm always very, pleasantly surprised with the ideas that come out of, that commission. And there's no ceiling, and it's awesome. And the sky is the limit, and it's always impressive, and they think big. So that's really fun. Last Friday, we had our legislative forum for, with Skip, I should say, Skip's legislative forum for the state legislature. And that went really well. We were able to showcase, quite a few state representatives showed up. We even had the senior policy advisor for the governor's office there. And our own Chris Stearns was there. The others weren't able to make it. One is out of the state, but he was there. And I just wanted to state that because we've been doing this for a while. We've been contributing, and we're starting to see results. And one of the wonderful things here is that I'd like to point out that since 2022, Skip has funded the development and preservation of 584 units of affordable housing in South King County through pooling of over 14.5 million from 11 cities. And I just want to give a big hats off to our staff and to our manager. Out of those 11 cities, only 3 are collecting 1590 funds with, I should say, the funds are staying within the city. So that was, you know, when we initially learned that was pretty surprising, but I mean, how awesome. And we were able to talk about that with the representative from the governor's office. And currently this funding cycle, we had over $12 million in applications, of which we can only fund 3.5. So the need is great. But what Skip is doing, and we have a flyer. We actually had a ribbon cutting ceremony earlier that day for one of the locations. And the work that's happening is wonderful in the fact that that it creates the ability for Covington to both stay compliant and to participate in what we know is highly needed. So yeah, that's the update on Skip, and I'd say it's a pretty big one, but there's currently 4. I think I'm short on this. There's more than 4. I think it cut off, but there's quite a few projects in the works right now, and yeah, I'll keep you updated on those as they go. Like I said, Makers Market was wonderful on Saturday. And the Mayor's Day of Concern. We had a great time with Jennifer Afford-Meyer. It was wonderful to see that we now have five different stops. I thought it was 6, but I think it was 5 different stops, which is a lot more than what we had the last time. And we're still finessing on how to get that rocking and rolling. But it was wonderful. And seriously, some people are just so ridiculously generous. And I'm proud to say that this is our community, and it is beautiful, and people are wonderful. They come out of the woodworks. Well, I'd say most people are, but you often don't see them. And so when you give them this opportunity, it's just really great to see. Thank you very much. That was probably the longest comment I've ever done.
Thank you, Christina, and thank you for doing the Skip meeting with that. And Chris Stearns does an excellent job, so I was glad he was able to show up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Beth.
Yes, lots of fun at the Makers Market. Wore a few hats that day, but it looked like people were having fun. making purchases, buying their holiday gifts,
Yeah.
doing all the things. And so that was fantastic to see. And, just echoing what Christina said about the food drive, there's always so many people that are just, they understand the need and will step up. And kind of along those same veins, one of the things that I feel like it's becoming more and more apparent to me is that, as a city, we have our city boundary, our municipal boundary. But when we go out into the community, there are people that claim Covington as their city, even though they might live in unincorporated King County. I mean, you go to Druids Glen and the golf course lists Covington, Washington, even though it's technically not us. But it just goes to show that when we build these personal connections and we have people that care, like they don't have to live in the city limits to be part of Covington. We are Covington, and how we support each other in all of these events and support people in their journey. So I feel really lucky. Kind of just makes me really want to go, hey, let's spread our borders. I'd love to have you. But it's just with everything else going on right now, everywhere, just to know that we have this community of Covington in this area makes me feel much safer, and it gives me hope. So with that, the last thing I just have to mention is that on Thursday, we do have our Joint Recommendations Committee meeting, and we will be voting on the CDBG funding recommendations for 2026. And also we will be getting a federal funding update, and it's been a little quirky because for the 2025 funding that we already granted last year, we're still waiting on the dollars to figure out kind of are moving cheese on what will actually be coming into the county for that. So hopefully we'll have some good news, and that everything that was funded last year will actually see that money coming to those organizations to do the work. But I can give you all an update at our next meeting. We should know by then, hopefully. But other than that, that's all I have.
Great.
And Purple Light Night this Saturday, 6 o'clock walk, 7:30 tree lighting. I'd love to see as many people there. Just have fun.
Thank you, Beth.
Mm-hmm.
Sean?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. 3 quick things. There was not an RFA meeting last Wednesday, so I don't have an update on that. I just thought the community care program update was incredibly moving. First time I wasn't crying. You guys were crying.
Yeah.
So, and then I don't know. I can't remember if I updated it, but I really appreciated the opportunity to hand out popcorn at the drive-in. It was really well done. If you haven't attended or participated, I encourage you to do it. Just a big shout out to the Parks and Rec program. And then I'm going to credit Beth. She had a great idea before the movie started. They're playing music and the screen is just blank. We can be projecting our messages up there if we wanted to. Or we could even have ads. So if there was a partnership that people wanted to sponsor the movie nights,
Great idea.
we could be putting, and we basically had like 25 minutes or so while people were driving in. That's a lot of ad time you could be
We could
selling.
even do karaoke.
We could do karaoke, yeah. So
Sweet.
anyway, something to think about that.
I want to jump up there.
That space is up there.
Karaoke with the mayor.
So
Oh.
anyway, so it was Beth's idea.
You
So
know Ethan's writing
Thank you, Beth.
these thoughts down.
that's it.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah.
Debbie?
I think karaoke with the mayor would be a nice auction item at the storehouse auction.
That'll be,
We're doing lunch with the mayor. Why not karaoke?
well, you'll have to make sure that whoever shows up has a lot of Kleenex, because they're gonna be laughing a lot.
Well, thank you for doing the Mayor's Day of Concern. That was I'll let you share the numbers, but it was probably one of the second highest we've had. And great turnout. I appreciate that all council members came out and helped, as did some of our commission members. I had one woman that came up to me and gave me an entire cart full of food.
Wow. Same.
And then told me years ago she was a client at the storehouse.
Oh, wow.
And it was just a great opportunity to talk about giving back and that I was just honored to be able to be witness to somebody's life turning around because they had healthy food to eat. So, the drive-in movies were fun. I got to work with Jennifer last week, handing out popcorn, and it was Harry Potter movie, which I've never seen, read any. I know the Harry Potter
Existence.
character.
Yeah.
I knew him, but anyway, what really impressed me was people really dig going to drive-in movies, and their cars and trucks were all decked out. They had all their equipment, and people were just so into it. They were happy. They were appreciative of the free popcorn. So it just really renewed my spirit. Yeah, Purple Lights Night this Saturday will be great. And it was really nice to do the proclamation tonight. So I think that had a nice impact. So last week we had the September meeting for the skateboard, and it kind of took on a whole new life. And it was around the FIFA World Cup and the impact on our transportation. We heard from SeaTac, we heard from, well, Port of Seattle, SeaTac, we heard from WashDOT, we heard from King County Metro. You can get the sense that there has been a lot of focus over the last couple of years since it was announced on how to get some of our roads ready, streets, highways. Nothing really here that impacts Covington, although if I had any family that was planning to come next summer, I would definitely tell them not to come in June or July. The airport, while they've done a lot of improvements, especially around the global aspect, it's about 6-7 weeks. I've got a slide deck that I'm going to send to Krista and have her send out to everyone. But I think getting in and out of the airport's just going to be horrific. And they've talked about having staging areas. So today when you go to drive in, say to pick someone up, and you're in that long lineup, they're talking about having a different way to kind of stage that so there isn't all that. Metro service is going to be going strong. Heard tonight, just again, another comment about the lack of transportation in Covington. I didn't get any opportunity this month to get my little two minutes in, but we'll continue to do that. A couple of nuggets that came out of the presentation last week was it's going to be the largest event in the world in 2026. And it'll be the second largest ever in Washington State. Well, I take that back. It'll be the largest in Washington State since the World's Fair. So you kind of get a sense of how big that is. And they talked about that they've learned some opportunities for learning and improvement. When Taylor Swift had a concert in Vancouver, Canada last year, every rental car in Washington sold out because people flew in to Washington, rented cars, and drove up. I can see that happening now. People flying to Portland to avoid SeaTac, and then they're probably going to run out of rental cars. So another reason not to have company coming if they needed to rent a car. There probably won't be any.
And I don't have to worry about them coming. Not yours, mine.
I thought you were talking about mine.
No.
Anyway, I'll send that slide deck to Krista and share it with you. It had a lot of other key tidbits in there. So,
Debbie, can
yes,
I ask a quick follow-up? I know back when they were first talking about the FIFA, they were talking about ways to get the visitors out to like national parks and things like that, which I don't know if that's still going to be a push there, because then they would be coming out this way to get up there, wherever. Did they address any of that, or?
They didn't specify national parks. They did talk about that there will be a large number of watch parties around the areas.
Okay.
So, and Regan and I talked briefly this morning about could we do that in a park here?
Yeah.
He had some reasons why that might not work. So we can talk about that later. But yeah, there will be watch parties and events all over.
Okay.
The other thing I didn't mention, I'm sorry, we don't know yet what countries will be playing here until they make it into the last round. So an example is we don't know what airlines are gonna be coming in. It'll depend on where in the world they're coming from, unless it's a global airline. So, okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Debbie. Jennifer.
I entered the FIFA lottery. I'll let you guys know if we get tickets. I got Savannah Banana tickets. I felt lucky. Yes, Jage's story earlier was incredibly moving, that he was so brave to come in and share that with us. You know, and it's not just him, it's his family, it's his loved ones, it's the community around him, it's, you know, where he's serving and making a difference. And so it's so much more than just that one person. It was, wow, like amazing. Let's see, drive-in movie, you know, I raved about it last year. Still amazing, still fantastic. I love that the characters walk around, you know, and as Debbie was saying, we had a blast walking around and checking out everybody's setup, all that. So many air mattresses this time around. Like, people have gotten really smart about the situation. And even like parking, Krista, this is a tip for you. You get to park up front, then put your blanket out front, and then just sit outside, and then you can go in your car when it gets cold. It's like these people, like, next level geniuses here. And then I was wondering if the city could post the week with no driving and help spread the word on Facebook. Should I just reach out to Carla and ask? Okay. I have never heard of that. I thought that's a really great message to get out to the world. You know, I have family members that don't drive, and it is challenging, very basic things that we take for granted. I mean, just coming to my house for dinner, like, we have to incorporate like a whole, like, go get the you know. So I really, that's a powerful message. And then also, a food drive was a lot of fun. Christine and I just make up our own fun. Like, we were just having a blast at Fred Meyer while stuff was getting set up. And it is really, it's always just amazing, like you were saying, to see what, how generous people are to complete strangers. So yeah, pretty awesome. That's it.
Thanks, Jennifer. Joe?
So I want to thank Prem, who has left, for bringing this week without driving to us. I didn't know about it either, and I think this is great. I was saying earlier, the one bus we have in Covington actually will get me to work. It will let me off legitimately right in front of my school. So I can take that. I just have to park at Multicare, and I'm kind of iffy on that one. But I love this, and I definitely will probably partake in this at least one of those days that week. But I think this is a great thing. And it's also a great way for me to guilt King County Metro into trying to get us more routes. I don't like saying I have to guilt a government agency to do the right thing for the people, but I feel like that's where we're at right now with them trying to understand that people are moving out to the suburbs and we need this. So I will be using this. On the 10th, I was the chair for the PIC, and we are reinstituting our 2-touch rule for at least one item on the agenda. Sorry, I left my tablet at home, so I had to use my computer today. But it was the indigent defense caseload standards. And I know I had Krista send it to all of you. We're looking for comments from cities so that I can present them to the PIC at our next meeting. This letter will not be going out right away. We still have some, touch-ups to do to it, making sure we're doing everything right with it. So we didn't vote on it because we lost quorum by 1. The joke was if Chris Roberts was there, we would have had quorum the whole time. But every time I'm the one leading the meeting, we have to fight to get quorum. So, it's what it is. But if any of you have read it or have any comments, I'll take it right now. If not, please pass it on to Krista so she can get it to me. You should all have this in your email. It is agenda item number 9 on that agenda. If you can't find it, just go to the SCA's website and look for the September 10th PIC meeting, and it's in there as well.
Joe, if I can add a comment on that, in the drafting of that letter, I did include edits that were concerns for the city of Covington as well. So that was part of the drafting of it as well. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. But if you have any other comments, please, you can let me know tonight, or again, let Krista know, and trying to make sure I don't see Mark show up on the board with anything I say right now. Is let Krista know so she can let me know so I can pass that along to the next PIC meeting. That said, I had a very busy weekend. Mine started on Friday with taking Ryan to Cheney for college. And fun thing to find out as you're getting in the car, I-90's closed at Snoqualmie Pass.
Yeah.
There was a semi-on-semi collision. Ryan wanted to stop though at his work and say goodbye to some people. So luckily, by the time we got back in the car and got going, I-90 had reopened. But traffic was still there. We found a workaround. Unfortunately, that workaround was a Forest Service road. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you drive a Ford Fusion, do not go on a Forest Service road. My car was not built for that. And I'm pretty sure when I take it in this weekend for some new tires, they're going to yell at me about other things that are wrong with it, but it's okay. But we got them off to Cheney. I was very happy to be, it was just me and the dog in the car on the way home. So I was very happy I could just be there with my thoughts, and I didn't really cry, but I'm sure it's coming. He starts school tomorrow. I'm excited for him. But then Saturday, bright and early, I was at Safeway with Regan to Mayor's Day of Concern. And it always feels like the morning shift is kind of slow, but you get to have some good conversations with people who come by. And I had some great conversations. We talked with some great people. We had some great donations, and I always enjoy Mayor's Day of Concern for the ability to get out there and make people aware of the storehouse. I hope one day that we don't have to have the storehouse. I hope one day we have people who do not have food insecurity, so that we don't have to do this. I really, the things we do for certain aspects, I enjoy doing, but I really hope one day we don't have to. But I think it was a great event. I'll let Jeff tell all the numbers and everything. And then Maker's Market was great. Some great vendors were there. I know there's a barbecue sauce or a lady there that I'm going to be spending a lot of money on with her, and then sending a bunch of it over to Ryan and at Cheney, because I know he likes that stuff. And then this Friday, I will be working the drive-in movie, which is Wicked. I don't know who's working with me, but I'll be there. Oh, Christine. All right, cool. And then Saturday, I'm looking forward to Purple Light Nights, the lighting of the tree. Again, something I hope one day we don't have to do, but I am thankful that we do it, and I'm thankful we're making it aware. So that said, that's all I've got.
Thank you, Joe. Mayor's Day of Concern, thank you to everybody that was there to help with that. It's a very good cause, and with Meg Holland starting this back in 1999 and continuing to see it grow. 3,300 pounds were collected, so not the most, but considering the economy and everything else going on, that was still pretty good. But $1,300 at what was she, 5? Said, brought me $2, said she took them out of her piggy bank for the store. Yeah. So that was pretty good. And unfortunately, I could only work the 2 hours. I wasn't able to stay the whole day, and I was not able to make it over to the Maker's Market. But I heard it was an outstanding event. So, so that was very good. And then we have the Storehouse Hope fundraiser on October 11th. Right, there's something else on the 4th. Okay, so on the 11th. So I believe it's sold out.
It is. It has been for over a week.
Yeah, so it's sold out, which is very good. That'll be at St. John the Baptist. So hoping to raise money for a new building and to help, because that building is an old garage storage shed that has been sticking around for quite a while. Arts Commission. That group never ceases to amaze me. And when Andrea brought up the yarn bombs, that I sent a picture to Alyssa and she's already ready
Getting to
for
work.
it. Yeah. So
Your neighbors better watch out then.
yeah. Yep. So, and then, I look forward to being there on Saturday night for Purple Light Nights to bring awareness and to, especially for those that are no longer with us. And those that are afraid that can't speak up for themselves. So, so I will be there for that. And I hear Victoria's gonna be there.
Victoria will be there.
Yep,
Joe will
she-
be there. Joe Bly.
Great. That is all I have tonight. So, with that, we'll move into our second public comment period. Speakers will state their name, organization, and whether they are a Covington resident. Comments are directed to City Council, not the audience or staff, and comments are to be related to city business. Comments are not intended for conversation or debate and are limited to 4 minutes per speaker. Is there anybody in the audience wishing to address council this evening? Yes, Anne. Thank you.
Apologies.
You're good.
So Anne Magner, I am a Covington resident. I just want to say thanks to whoever runs the City of Covington application on my iPhone. Whoever's funding it, please keep funding it. I tend to be one of those people that like reads every comment or every issue people have in the community, and I read every comment as well. And every response is like so well articulated. Everyone is super nice that responds to the residents. I have put in an issue that I saw around Wax Road recently, and they came back and said, hey, we're going to take a little bit of time to review. They took the time and then they responded and said, okay, there may not be exactly an issue, but here's what we're going to do instead. So I appreciated sort of the plan B, and they didn't just sort of like dump me and say, you know, ghost me and like walk away. So I really, really appreciated that. So I'm basically just as a resident, please keep funding it, or whoever's doing it, from public works to the police department to the maintenance. Like everyone is super responsive and there's always an answer. And I really do think more people should know about it. So I hear you talking about like the movie night. Maybe you could advertise the app there or something so people know. You could QR code it and just say, hey, if you have like something that you want to give feedback on for the community, it might be a really great way to like bring people in and make them aware that you do listen, and that you also give responses that are well articulated. So thank you to whoever runs that, and please keep doing it, because since I've known about it, like I read it several times a week, which maybe I need a hobby, but but it really, I think it is enhancing the city, it's keeping it really clean, and it's maintaining it really well as well. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else wishing to address council this evening? Is there anybody online wishing to address council? Seeing nobody approach the podium or raise their hand, the public comment period is closed. We do not have an executive session tonight. This meeting is adjourned at 8:39.